Now, as the results come in on election night, everybody's waiting for news of the call.
Now appears President Reagan has won.
And he has called Reagan and congratulated him.
That's when the losing presidential candidate calls the winner to concede the election.
A few minutes ago, I called
President Bush,
President Clinton, we had
Senator Barack Obama.
President Obama,
Congratulated Donald Trump.
to ensure the smooth transition of power.
Now, of course, that's not always how it goes down.
The vice president has recalled the governor and retracted his concession.
He's not ready to give this up just yet.
Election night is just the start of what can actually be a very lengthy process to officially pick the president, a particular risk in 2020.
Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots.
My single greatest concern. This president's going to try to steal this election.
Now let's back up for a second. When you vote for president, you're not doing it directly. That's why a candidate can win the popular vote, but not the presidency. What you're actually doing, you're voting for electors. Those are people who are appointed in each state to then choose the president and the vice president. Federal law says all election disputes at the state level need to be wrapped up by December 8th so the electors can cast their ballots on December the 14th. Now, each state governor has got to certify the electors' votes and then send them on to Congress. So the results aren't official until the new Congress counts those ballots on January the 6th. Now, it's usually a straightforward process, but let's say one of the candidates questions the legitimacy of the state's count. The governor could choose not to certify the electors' votes, or, though this is really unlikely, the state legislature could decide to contest the election and send a different count to Congress, meaning Congress could end up with no results or with competing results from the same state. Now, that's a violation of federal law, so Congress would no longer have to honor that state's electors at all. Now, the House and the Senate can then decide which result is valid or throw out the votes from that state altogether. Now, I know you think I'm crazy, but this actually happened. It was 1876, shortly after the Civil War. Samuel Tilden won the popular vote, but there were 19 electoral votes in dispute. Congress had to step in and broker a compromise. Rutherford Hayes was eventually named president in exchange for the end of Reconstruction and the withdrawal of federal troops from the South. Here's where things get even more interesting. If a candidate still doesn't have a majority of electoral votes by the end of this process, the 12th Amendment says the House of Representatives decides who will be president, and each state delegation gets one vote. The Senate picks a vice president. No matter what happens, somebody has got to take the oath of office on January 20th.
So help me God.
If both the president and the vice president are still undecided, the Speaker of the House temporarily gets that job.